Hey, what's up guys, it's Zero9 and welcome to another episode of my workflow workshop. Today we will going to talk about organizing your tools. So I will show you my way to organize my library, to organize my plugins, my synth presets and all the effects chain I have in my library. And yeah, so let's straight dive into Ableton to see how it looks like. Okay, here the cool thing in Live 10 Net, we have these collections. You can edit them, create your own colors, name them how you want. For example, I have different categories here or different collections. I have my VSTs where I have all my VST plugins which I'm using. Then I have FX where I have all different effects racks and even plugins I'm using. Max for Live, everything which is using Max for Live, different sequencers, LFO, my color limiter, whatever. Then I have my preset collections where I have all my custom-made presets I made myself using different synths or drum racks, instrument racks, whatever. And yeah, then I have my mixing and mastering collection where I have all my plugins using during mixing and mastering, and that's basically how I organize my plugins. You can choose different collections here if you want to have it in a different style. You can do anything. You can do other groups, or you can basically do whatever you want there. You have the full freedom. Then the next step is how I organized my sound library. I've created a folder on my hard disk called favorite samples, and there I have all samplers set up here. I'm using different folders for all my different samples. For example, I have a drum folder, and in the drum folder I have claps, closed heads, crash, kick, open heads, and all the other drum sounds. For example, open heads, I have just here are my favorite open heads, and that's basically how I sorted all my samples. Then I have, for example, also effects here, also split up into different subfolders where I have all of them set up so that I really know what's inside these folders. For example, also in the downlifter folder, I have also another 3 subfolders called long, medium, and short. So I have short downlifters, medium downlifters, and long downlifters. Usually long is 8 bar, medium 4 bar, short is 1 or 2 bar. So you have to find a system which works for you so that you can kind of categorize your samples into different folders so that you can quickly find it when you're producing a track. And let's say I need a downlifter. I know, okay, I will go to my downlifter folder. I need a short downlifter, I need a medium downlifter, and then I can quickly find a sample which is exactly like I want it to be. And that's how I chose to categorize or manage my samples. For drums, I also have a kind of specific system because I don't want to listen to all the drum samples, and because it takes up a lot of time. So I have another system here which is called 128. I will just quickly show it because I will make another video, a deep dive video. We will create it and see how it works, but let's just check it out. It's in my user library. Let's say we need a clap. In my 128s folder, I have a clap rack here, and then I've already made a clap rack. And now let's say we want a clap on every second hit. I've made a rack with all my favorite clap samples, for example, and I just can browse through the samples with the sample selector. But as I said, I will make a deep dive video about that. But that's just the way how I am organizing my drum samples. You can do it also with other samples like synth, percussion and something like this. Yeah. So that's basically how I organized my sample library. Then I have also created a lot of custom processing chains. For example, I have made like Haas effect rack here. Let's see, where is it here? And where I can just quickly pull it in. For example, just to have the Haas effect, everything already set up here. I don't know. Here, another rack, parallel bandpass. To make it a little bit more darker. And I have a lot of these presets here, kind of racks that I made for all kind of stuff. Also, for example, for mixing, I have made here channel EQ with just a low pass here, high pass. That's basically all I do while creating my track ideas. Like I said, only thing which is allowed, low pass and high pass. Yeah, so for example, I've made a lot of like racks like this. This is really useful because in a lot of cases, like especially for effects or like mixing stuff, you use all the time the same plugins, so there's no need to load it up all the time again and do the same task over and over again. Just do it once, save it to your library, and then just put it into your collections here, and then you can quickly access it while you're making a track, and this saves up a lot of time for you while you do it. I think everyone knows how to make racks, and with mapping all these macros, I think there are a lot of tutorials, and I will also show that in the 128 tutorial, which is out soon. And the last step is also creating synth presets. Depending on the VSTs you have, a lot of them already have presets, so you can browse through them, and some of them are really cool. For example, let's say I have a MIDI already loaded up here, and I have some time. So I say, okay, let's just quickly browse through all the presets in Omnisphere. Omnisphere has loads of presets. It's so much that probably no one knows them all. But let's say you have a 1 hour free of time, so you can just make some presets. Then I will. You can also make the presets from scratch. You can basically do whatever you want, but just to show you how the process works, let's quickly say I want a kind of arpeggio sound. So we'll go into synth short. Then let's see. Just quickly browse through different presets. Okay, it's a little bit too loud here. All right, let's say we like that preset here, so we want to use it in our library. I will just add a little bit of processing. So we can improve it a little bit. Let's say here we need EQ afterwards. Then I will always load a utility plugin, because on the utility plugin I will do all the automations, volume automations, and yeah, let's say we want some kind of saturation here. Maybe let's use the pedal, for example. And Okay, let's say we like it like this. Then what I will do is I will just group all these plugins into an instrument rack, and then we can just save it. Let's say we have, I will always call it with a quick, with 2 letters, which synth it is, which VST, so that I know if it's the Omnisphere, Silent One, Wavetable, whatever, because with Omnisphere, it takes up a lot of time sometimes to load, and if I'm just switching between Omnisphere presets, it's faster than, because if I load Omnisphere, then Silent One, then Serum, then Omnisphere again, it takes up a lot of time, and so I label them with just a prefix so that I know which plugin it is. Because then I will, if I just need one sound, I will go first to all the Omnisphere presets, for example, and then through the other synths. But there's this kind of example only with Omnisphere, because the most other synths load a lot up faster than Omnisphere. But in any case, I will just label it, for example, like here's space ARP, or whatever, and then we can just save it. And I've already made up of a lot of presets here. For example, I have synths already, I have bass lead, pads, plugs, and then I have, for example, plugs. And I will just drop it here into kind of maybe trancey, dreamy, or bright, depending on the sound. For example, this sound is maybe in this categories, and then I will just drop it here into that folder, and then I've saved this preset to my library, and now I can use it in a new project. And if you do all that stuff, it takes some time to build up a decent library, but once you've got it, you can really quickly load up different presets while you're making your track ideas. And that's really handy, because as I said, we don't want to do sound design while producing our tracks, and this really helps to find like preset which is getting 80% there, and that's enough to have to kind of showcase the idea, and then that's basically it. And yeah, you can also sound design your own presets and then save them to your library. That's also a way to make kind of more unique sounds. But anyway, I think it is clear what I wanted to show you. So we went through all these steps. I've shown you how to create, how to organize your sample library. I do it with all the kind of different folder structure. I have different folders for all my sounds, for drum sounds, for vocal sounds, for synth sounds. Then I have my 128s for drums. All my plugins are organized in the different collections with VSTs, with FX mastering, mixing plugins. I've just shown you how to create your own synth presets already with some processing, because then you don't have the processing again on some for example, some sounds you need a little bit of processing to get them right. For example, saturation, then a little bit of EQ, and if you save it with the complete chain, it always sounds good, and you don't have to do a lot of stuff afterwards. And I've also shown you how to build process chains with the 128. We'll go a little bit deeper into that topic in the next video. But I think most of you guys know how to create audio effect racks, and you can save them to your library as well. Saves a lot of time, and I use a lot of my preset chains a lot of times in my projects, so it's really handy to just load them up very quickly from my library, and so I would definitely recommend to do this. And yeah, and building template projects will be an additional video, because otherwise this video would get too long. I will explain this in depth in another video, so stay tuned. If you like my videos, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next workshop video.